2, 3, fire!
Knights, Vikings, Samurai, Woolen, Outlanders, 4. Okay, now that we're on the second half of the reveal live stream, I think it's time for me to go ahead and eat because I am hungry.
Welcome back once again, Warriors. Thanks for sticking around there. We did a little shift in the background here, but yeah, we're here to talk about some patch notes. So with JC. But before that, just real quick, because we were just checking a few of the comments in between the transition of the segments here, and JC, you had one more thing you wanted to mention.
Yeah.
About
So I just want to address some weird urban legend that I've been thinking about and hearing about for a while, and I should have mentioned it before.
Urban legends.
So apparently, a lot of players were thinking that we couldn't remove reflex guard because of the flex, and that they were linked together in some sort of spaghetti code type of thing. That was completely false. I have no idea where people got that information from.
I don't know. Yeah.
People are liars.
So basically, it's they had nothing to do with each other. They still have the flex. There's no problems, and it's completely unrelated. So that's.
So there you go.
Really different systems.
Yeah, they're not connected at all.
Yeah.
I don't know where y'all got that.
No
Okay,
idea.
they're completely separate. So Deflects are here to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, people like doing that. You know, they always come up with the rumor, then people fall for it and all that stuff.
Like, again, if y'all thought that
I don't know why
this was
people
a
always
pretty
fall
big
for
update, we have
some stuff
even
like
more
that.
for you, and something I think that's been cooking a little bit too.
That's kind of
There's a
like for me,
couple,
when I do
updates
my
here.
For Honor news videos,
JC, let's dive in. What do you got?
I always make sure that
go.
I'm
So,
the stuff that I'm
first
saying and the
off,
news that I bring out. I always make sure that all of them are factual. I'm not the type of person that makes up news and all that stuff. No, I want to go ahead and give factual news
as I
to you
mentioned
guys
last time, it's not coming in
because I don't want to go ahead and
this,
mess up my reputation
to
with that.
It'll come out like
So when it comes to any news of Honor, I'm always the person to talk
We
to.
want to take our time to make sure we were getting it right.
Unfortunately, sometimes work gets in the way, so I'm not able to go ahead and do that. So I'm missing on that. So I apologize.
Don't expect it now, but Lawbringers now. Right.
Awesome.
Well,
And then also for Lawbringer, just to give a bit of
time for me to
not
eat,
really
'cause
history,
I am
but like an indication of
hungry.
where we're going with it, is that we did 2 testing grounds, right? The first one was kind of like there was things that people liked, things people didn't like. Second one, same thing. So the approach we took specifically for Lawbringer was gather what worked, and then what didn't work, we just discarded it, right?
Yeah.
So because a lot of the time, like we're thinking, yeah, okay, this is good. You know, it feels good when we're playing it, and then it gets into the hands of players, and it's really not what they're expecting. It's not what they are enjoying. So we don't have a problem. Like when there's things that don't really work, we don't mind cutting them, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, want to make sure that the character is still in a healthy spot. So there's some things that are more about the health of the hero and like the feeling of playing against them. But we'll go through the changes and we'll go through it. So for Lawbringer, what I'm going to be doing is just going through the main points of what has changed. You can go look at the patch notes for all the details, for every little nugget of detail that should be in there. They're really, really complete, but that's great.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty big. But we really wanted to make sure that we cut them down to size here so that we don't take 8 hours making those patch notes here.
Fair enough.
So first up, the first thing that we need to mention is that Impaling Riposte, so this is the side heavy after a parry, is only guaranteed on light parry. That's something we had in the second testing ground. We've done different iterations of this in the first one where you still had it anytime, and then we reached the wall, you get a special punish or whatever. It didn't really pan out, made things way too complicated, like really messed up stuff. So instead, the best way to handle this was what we did in the second testing rounds, which is it's only off of light parries. You get it off of dodge attack parries, you get it off of like other things. But at the end of the day, the damage output of a Lawbringer when you parried a heavy was way too high. It's much too dangerous. You can ledge, you can put into traps, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's still useful, and after a heavy parry, it's not after a light parry rather. The idea now is we want players to have a choice and to make a decision and to really be smart about which option they're going to take. Are they going to do Blind Justice? Are they going to do Impaling Riposte? One of them does a little bit less damage, but it has more potential, like of instant kills or whatever. Maybe you want to push somebody out of the group fight if you want. So it's a lot of it is about rewarding smart play and good decision making in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of went this way and make sure that when you're playing Lawbringer, you're feeling good about the choices that you're making. And yeah, you can make a mistake sometimes, and it's okay. It's fine. You're going to get to learn. That's great.
That happens.
Then we also kept that the heavy opener is now chained to Swift Justice on hit if it's performed in the same stance. So right now, Lawbringer can go into, if you land a heavy attack, you can tap light in the same stance, and you will do a really, really quick tap. That tap leads to your finishers. It counts as your second hit, which is the next point in there. So it's great. It really lets Lawbringer get into his finishers, which is arguably one of the best parts of the kit. He has some of the best heavy finishers in the entire game. Really big, unblockable, white sweeping, the whole thing. That's
You're saying
good.
that Jormungandr doesn't have?
That's great.
How dare you?
But being forced to do a heavy, then potentially go into a light or a shove and do all those mix-ups, when we want to reward, like you manage to land a heavy, you manage to land a guard break that went to your heavy, getting all that stuff to go, like we really want you to go into your finishers and use them as much as possible.
Okay.
So that's the idea here. If you switch your stance, you will still go into a normal light. So like that's okay.
Yeah.
That works. So that's all good. Okay. We've also kept that the chain heavy attacks now have uninterruptible stance. That's armor for people who, like me, don't like to say uninterruptible stance. So you get they have armor at 100 ms, right? So that's only for chain heavies, not for finishers. The finishers are unblockable already. We don't really need that armor. We have for system. Didn't really pan out, which is okay. But having that armor there really lets Lawbringer be effective in group fights, right? The idea here is those are still big swings with armor there. Lets you kind of target swap between opponents. Can let you like a bunch of stuff and be a lot safe against peeling. So that really, really helps Lawbringer's offense in that regard to be able to get around and do stuff. So that's great. And then also the top heavy finisher and now soft feints the guard break. It's a little bit faster. We have a slide a little bit later that like talks about speeds, but essentially to make sure that your top heavy finisher can catch people that are rolling, when you do it after a light, we gave it a soft feint to guard break to make sure that you can catch people that are rolling and make yourself a little bit more useful in those fights and just I roll away from Lawbringer every time he does something, right? So that's the big part. All right. As well, we have long arm. So long arm now guarantees a safe heavy opener with also a safe Swift Justice. So on live right now, with Lawbringer, you do long arm, you flip them over, you throw a heavy. If you do not do anything afterwards, if you don't throw a light, if you don't risk a light, if you don't risk a heavy, if you don't risk a shove or whatever, your opponent gets a free guard break on you every single time. This is not the case right now. We fixed this. It was fixed in the testing grounds. It works well. This is great. It really helps make long arm a lot safer of a tool. So it works really good. So that's great for that. Blind Justice, which is the top heavy after a parry. It now initiates chains and it also chains to Swift Justice. So essentially you can do Blind Justice into target swap shove, for example, if you like. Or if you're on a single target, you can do Blind Justice into Swift Justice into your finishers. So really we want to have Lawbringer keep his identity as a parry specialist and have a lot of options out of parries and be able to keep the pressure after parries. That's very, very important to us. And so by giving those things a little bit like more utility, a little bit more stuff there, it feels great. And it lets the hero actually really go into pressure. Because one of the big problems that Lawbringer had was, you're really good defensively, but offensively you're not that good. It's kind of hard to get to where you want to be. So with these kind of changes, those flow changes really helps get into where you want to go. So that's great.
Okay, nice.
Next we have Zone Attack and Make Way. So they now cost 20 stamina instead of 60, which was like a crazy number. They now also initiate chains, which is great. You can do like a zone attack into a chain, whatever you want to do. And they also have 600 ms of recovery, right? They used to be way smaller. You could do stuff like zone into a full block and then parry the full block follow-up. This is not something that was intended. It's not something that we want to really reward there. If you're hitting a full block, you should be punished for hitting the full block.
Right.
So we slowed down the recovery a little bit to make sure that those follow-ups would actually be able to connect properly.
Yep.
We've also removed all stun, all stamina damage, and all stamina pause on the hero. So no more stunning off of your top heavies, no more stunning or stamina damage or whatever off of anything. That's completely gone. Stun doesn't really bring much to the game. You know, like flashbangs don't really quite work with what we're doing. And stamina damage and stamina pause, we're removing them over time on pretty much every single hero. The logic here is we want like stamina management still has to be a part of the game, right? You still have your stamina bar, you still have to do stuff, but we don't want it to be impacted too much by what your opponent does. It's how you manage it yourself, and not how your opponent manages to drain your stamina bar. It also has like big knock-on effects into when you're out of stamina.
That's what you're gonna make
that we don't really want to get into. So with this, it makes the hero a lot healthier to play against. And we've also adjusted the recovery timings.
The Young Gunner's old kid had to deal with stamina drain with the opponent. Now they completely changed it.
The vast majority of heavies, at least, have like shorter recoveries. Some of them were like over a second long. They're all like about 800 now. That's great. So yeah, so overall, like we kind of standardized this a little bit to make the heroes safer as well in group fights. If you don't want to throw a follow-up, you don't have to and everything.
Nice. All right.
So super quickly, if you want to screenshot this, because a bunch of stuff there, so you can screenshot it. The most important part of this here that I want to mention is the part at the bottom, which is any change not listed in the patch notes has not carried over from the testing grounds.
Right.
What this means, very, very, very shortly, is enhanced lights are still in. Shove-in chains is still 500 MS. All those little things that we've done that players did, like the 3-hit light chain, for example, we've also we did not carry it over. Players did not really like it. We heard you. We see it. Fine. We're not putting it in.
Yep.
But again, it's testing grounds. We're testing things. It's okay to dislike stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Nobody takes it personally. Except maybe sometimes I can't sleep at night, but it's fine.
No.
What are you doing to this guy?
Yeah, crazy people.
But it's fine. Like honestly, it's okay. We're testing stuff out. It's good. And sometimes when things are not appreciated,
don't know why.
It's fine.
Sure.
All right. So next up, let's go to Pirate. So we're doing some buffs to Pirate. Pirate's underperforming.
Oh, Pirate's getting some changes.
When she released, she was a bit strong, a little bit strong, right? And so
she was.
Very quickly, and
Pirate was freaking OP.
To really
a lot of people didn't like her.
The feeling of this feels really
and
bad.
then she got nerfed to the ground.
But as we've done that, we realized more that her power level is way too low. Like I've been seeing
now they're gonna go ahead and fix her.
Put her in a remove. Screw this, right? From duels especially, which is kind of sad. But I mean, I get it, right? If the hero is not effective,
Pirate being OP,
you can't really do anything. Like when you're playing,
it's not the only thing that people are upset
in
about.
Specific game modes, then it's not good. So we're doing these changes here to Pirate specifically. We're keeping an eye on the situation. If this is not enough, we will keep doing more changes to the hero to bring them more in line to where they need to go. So first up, heavy finishers. They now deal 24 damage, up from 22. So again, like bringing up the damage line a little bit higher, so you're more encouraged to do them and get into the move there. The guaranteed pistol blast and the non-guaranteed pistol blast now recover like at different timings here. The gist of it is that whenever you perform them, if you don't chain afterwards, you become frame neutral with your opponent instead of being frame disadvantaged. So it lets you not necessarily keep the pressure going, but at least you're not disadvantaged if you don't choose to continue because you're out of stamina or you don't want to do it for whatever reason. So that's kind of like the idea here. Cavalier Dance, which is our front dodge heavy. Right now, it's according to a lot of players, it's fully reactable. Right, they're able to react to the fact that you're fainting in or not. So we sped it up to 700 MS. It used to be 8. It's now 700. And the uninterruptible stance starts at 433 instead of 5. Here we're hoping that by speeding it up, it'll make it a little bit less reactable. Animations kind of follow there, so hopefully they're going to be less readable, a little bit less readable in the fact of did Pirate faint or not. So we're gonna see where that lands, and like hopefully it'll be like in a good spot where you can actually use it as an opener and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, like I said, we might look at other venues to see what we do with these heroes. And then finally, Grand Cavalier, which is her side dodge heavies. We had put them at 600 MS. They're pretty good. They have really big trajectories. They hit a lot of stuff. But at 600, especially with the dodge changes, it felt bad, right? They were getting parried all the time. Making them at 533, again, we're putting them back down to the value they were when they released. Should help them be a little bit faster, a little bit less reactable, and have them be actually just better in general.
Yep.
Okay. That's it for Pirate. Next up, we have Medjai. Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
So for Medjai,
my boy,
been
Medjai.
If you look at a lot of tier lists, especially in Dominion, way high up, and is the source of.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, right. So there's a good reason for that, right? And the problem is that like staff mode is very, very, very strong, and also has like was kind of played with some bugs with the trajectories, dealt a lot of damage, like a massive amount of damage, and like because the weapon trajectory didn't really line up with the actual weapon visuals, it made it feel kind of bad because then you were like, well, why am I getting hit when the weapon is not hitting, right? Yeah. So we're trying to address all of these issues at once here for Medjai. So first is all staff mode chain heavy attacks now deal 28 instead of 30 on sides and 32 on top. Already that's like that's a 2 damage nerf or 4 damage nerf for top. So like again, This dealt a ton of damage against external opponents that couldn't really do anything. They're fully armored. It's kind of nuts. That's one thing there. The staff will finish your heavies also now deal 30 instead of 32 on sides and 34 on top. Again, same logic, right? Damage curve was going a bit too high. Tagging people with 32 damage heavies when they can't really do anything and you don't really see them, that doesn't really work well. And we've also adjusted the attack trajectories to better match weapon visuals, for the following attacks. So all staff mode lights and heavy attacks and staff mode zone attacks. So now you should find that when the weapon hits you externally, it should match way better with the actual visuals of it. And we've also adjusted them so like in some cases there's a little bit less reach, sometimes a little bit more depending. Like in front we had to like increase it, on the sides lower it a little bit. So they're still good. You still have a large reach. You still have all that sort of stuff. But at least now, if the weapon hits you, that's when you're going to take damage. And it's a lot easier to go, well, the weapon's coming at me so I can dodge out of the way or deal with it in a better way than just hitting you out of the blue and doing phantom hits there, which didn't really feel good.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it for Magi. Next up, we have Orochi. So Orochi is centered around a single thing, which is Storm Rush. Now you might be going, Storm Rush is not that good.
It's not that.
However, if you look at a lot of, I've seen a lot of ganking videos. And Storm Rush was problematic because it ignored a lot of the rules that we have for pinning. And so that's really, really complicated. But basically, you could pin opponents that could not be pinned. You can chain multiple Storm Rushes back to back to back. So that created a lot of issues, and a lot of the 100-0 ganks with a lot of heroes in the cast were just, Orochi's there so you can get them going, right?
Gotcha.
So this really needed to be addressed so that the character is in line with everybody else in the cast, where they don't fully ignore those spinning rules. So the change that we've done was Storm Rush no longer pins opponents that are in states where they can't normally be pinned. So, for example, those are generally, if an opponent is currently being pinned, Storm Rush could repin them. Right now, that can't happen. The hit reactions also no longer allow the opponents to be pinned from other players. So another part of this was if you pin somebody with Storm Rush, another pin could repin in that situation. That was also problematic. So we've removed that. And you can no longer chain to the guaranteed double top and side lights after a Storm Rush. And that is because even if we remove the other two things, right, the pinning rules are okay. If you do Storm Rush into a light, the hit reaction that came from that light is in a state that is pinnable. And so because of this, even if we fix the other two, you could still repin from the reaction from that little light afterwards.
Gotcha.
So that had to go. To compensate for that going for now, we've also increased the damage from Storm Rush from 16 to 20. Basically, it's that 4 damage that those little combo lights do. Sure. So you're still going to deal the same damage with Storm Rush. It's just that you can't have that kind of repin infinitely going there. So that's it for Orochi for this.
Seems fair.
Yeah, this is really fair. And then finally, Hitokiri.
One line. Just one.
Significant line. When we did change to Hitokiri last time, the hero, we kind of skipped over the zone attack stamina cost. So we're putting that back in line. So instead of costing 60, now cost 20. Better stamina management for Hitokiri, not out of breath as often. Great.
Damn.
And
I didn't know it was that much stamina taste.
All that stuff. So at least now you can throw zone attacks and not lose half of your stamina, which is
always a plus.
Pretty good, right? It's always a plus.
All right.
So that's pretty much it for balancing and patch notes for this.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's quite a hefty thing, and all that again accompanying the reflex guard removal.
Yeah.
Like it's great to see the Lawbringer coming back in too after like all that testing grounds. Which by the way, again, thank you all for that feedback. You know, legitimately, I mean, as JC said, you know, we ran too, but we really do value the feedback you give us on that stuff. It helps to you know really see what's working with the community, what's not. So it's good. So big thanks to that.
Yeah, thanks. And like honestly, like even if it's not always the most constructive,
sure.
The more constructive you are, the better it is. If you have ideas, better or whatever, great.
Constructive criticism.
We're always looking at everything, and it's great.
It's
I'm
always
always
a good
happy
thing.
to see people commenting. It means people are engaged.
As long as you do not go overboard. I know there are some psychos that
that's always amazing.
they just like,
cool.
I don't know.
Well, and I think we have another excellent point of
there's some
engagement
people
coming up
that
after
they need to
this
be checked
segment.
out.
So stick around, everybody, here, because JC's not going anywhere. He's here all day.
It's my show today.
It's the JC show today.
Yep.
But he's going to be here to talk about testing grounds coming up next with somebody I think you're all going to be pretty excited to hear about. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What? That is awesome. Well, we already know who's going to be in the testing grounds. We saw him in the trailer. So it's like hiding this could be. Interesting. I wonder what they're going to be giving hiding. Dude, this case is there. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's freaking killing me. But it's freaking good. So I'm not talking as much. I'm just enjoying this. Come on. Work for me today was a big hectic. I mean, we got out late. We got out like at almost at 6:20. Then I came home at like 7 o'clock-ish. Guess I have to go ahead and drop off somebody at their house. So, yeah, work today was a little bit hectic. I had to do a bunch of trees today. Trees, I'm not. I hate cutting down trees. But I had to do it. It's my job, so whatever. Anyway, at the end of the day, we got that shit out of the work. I just want to come home and relax until the next day. Wow, this is taking long.
And we're back to talk
about
about
speaking of the devil.
rounds. I'm joined once again by Mr. J.C. Franet. And for the first
got a
time
new
on
dude.
the Warriors Den, William the Conqueror. Welcome to the Den, William.
Sorry?
I just said welcome to the
Oh,
Den.
sorry. Oh, thank you.
I did
So
not enunciate. The Idaho came out, and it was just like, oh, Den, man.
yeah, thank you
But
to having
basically
me.
everyone in Idaho sounds like Boomhauer.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's how it works.
Hey!
Yeah. So, yeah, we're talking about
Hey,
testing grounds.
man,
and,
don't we talk about
let's
Boomhauer
just
like
kick it
that?
off, JT.
Yeah, well, first, I want to welcome William.
Kingdom of Hell.
The Den. First time we see him around. Joined the team not that long ago, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like 3
But
months
you've
ago.
been
now.
playing
Yeah, absolutely.
forever, right? So you've been playing for Honor since the beginning.
Yeah,
of time.
pretty much since the launch, and
Yeah.
now being on the other part of the screen as a dev, that's a pretty good feeling, you know.
Fresh out.
Yeah,
Shut up.
well, and
Absolutely.
the note on our cheat sheet says just after finishing school, but I wasn't sure is that after finishing school or after finishing school.
I don't think he went to fit.
Never.
No, but let's get into testing grounds details. So what can players expect from the TG? Because we've got the man who never skips a leg day, right?
Mr. Thigh.
Yeah.
Highlander, right? So
Highlander.
I'm super happy. We've been wanting to do Highlander for a while. I know the community's been wanting to, like, for us to have Highlander. And the testing.
Wow, I didn't know anybody wanted the Highlander.
So we've taken an approach here with Highlander, which is essentially we want to have the hero to just make the hero better in general. It's a really difficult to play hero. He's like kind of tricky. There's a lot of like weird things that can happen. So we focused on not really removing much. Actually, I think there's one thing that's been removed. Everything else is if you played Highlander before, you can play Highlander now, except you have better tools. So that's great.
Nice.
That's what I like to see in a rework as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what players said when discussing Highlander as a potential. They're just like, I hope they don't change him too much.
Yeah, right. So we hasn't changed too much. Actually, he changed for the better, so that's good.
Some TLC.
Yeah, a lot of TLC. Yeah. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first stop, the very, very biggest change we've done, and I think people should be psyched about this, is that whenever you feint an attack now, every single time you feint an attack, if you hold the heavy button, you will fast flow into offensive stance, right? So how does this work? I throw a heavy, feint, hold heavy, straight into offensive stance, right? So this is great because normally the only way you could really on live right now, like going to offensive stance, realistically, is either like you got lucky, the dodge attack, you hold it or whatever, or you backstep light into offensive stance. Those are the two ways that kind of made it safe. But now with this, you're showing an indicator. So because you're showing an indicator, your opponent doesn't really know what you're going to do. It makes it a lot easier to go into offensive stance. So that's a really, really, really big change here. It works off of every single feint that you can perform with high.
Every feint.
Every single feint.
You can just
whoop. Yeah. Added a couple of feints in there.
Oh.
So we'll talk about this.
There are more feints.
There's more feints. The next thing I want to talk about quickly, which is a problem with the hero right now, is backstep lights. Right now, on live, if you do this, you backstep quite a bit. You can kind of option select a lot of attacks. We don't like that. It's not a good thing. So what we've done is that the version, like when you backstep a little bit less. So it kind of remove that option. Like, right, if you're really close, right, and I'm backstepping, I still hit my opponent. So you can't just go and try to option select stuff out of it. And just smash out of it and get out of range and stuff. And so
it's like one of the few OSs to survive the purge.
So that's the problem with like whenever we have like we have superior blocks on attacks and we can backstep them, kind of creates problems there. The other thing we've done is a crushing counter version. So if you want to throw me a top heavy, it now deals 18 damage instead of 20. So again, we've lowered the damage curve a little bit here because again that was a bit too strong. So that kind of works there. The other thing we've done in defensive stance is defensive form rather is the chain lights no longer have uninterruptible stance. This is a health issue, right? Players could just mash this, have armor quite often
for days.
Yeah, and it was like it's a bit too strong. So removing it there makes a lot of sense. You still have it off of your heavy, right? And off of your heavy openers, so you can still trade and do stuff with hands. It's just not off of the flight.
There's still a lot of flashing.
Yeah. There's still a lot of flashing.
Yeah.
Flashes. The other thing that we've done that's kind of cool is.
Whoa! What the hell is going on here?
We've also adjusted the speed of Handler's heavy openers. So top heavy opener right now. See, so if you're on live right now and you land a guard break, realistically, all you can do is zone attack to hit you.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, my friend. You can do a top heavy, and it lands because it's now 800 MS, right? If I do like a side, for example, it's blockable because they're now 9. But what happens when they're 9 is Will can do a dodge attack here, and I get a free heavy off of a side heavy now that are 900.
Shreked.
Beforehand, all you could do after a light parry is hold heavy, release it. Timing was rough. Like the input comfort was not super there. You can still do it if you want, but we really wanted to give the hero like a much better way of getting into those parry punishes and not being super penalized about all of these things. That works really, really great. We've also adjusted the damage in consequence. So top is 24, sides are 27, like expected for the speed. That works out really, really well. Next we have from offensive form. So
for me, I got water here, just in case.
You couldn't feint it before.
Always come with a backup.
Oh, dip.
It's great. Right?
That's huge.
Because now you can also, you want to know what I was talking about? Fainting, feint into offensive.
Oh.
You can do it a bit quicker there, but yeah.
I see what you did there.
That works there. The first hit also now gains uninterruptible stance at 500 MS, so that's great. So you get armor really, really quickly. And then the second and third hit also gain uninterruptible stance at 100 MS. So you get armor here, armor here, armor here. You want to throw it at minions when a bunch of people are around you? Go ahead. You're not going to get peeled. But that's great. But we're like, yeah, this is pretty cool, you know. But how can we make this even better?
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, was it faster?
It's not necessarily faster, but you can now chain to heavy finishes.
Oh, dip.
That also
I was way off.
You were way.
I was distracted by the flash.
Yeah, but that's okay, because now the other cool thing is that the heavy finishers also chain into zone attack.
Oh, so dude, that's cool.
You can now go zone, do heavy, zone,
All right, so the age of man is over.
Jesus Christ, dude.
The thigh copter.
Unlimited.
Exactly. Right. But part of this is we really want to have Highlander in this form to be really, really defensive, but be able to defend himself in group fights, be amazing in the minion lane, because you can just spin through the...
Yeah. No, Scotsman...
Oh, that's going to help out with the minion lanes.
That's really, really good there. And the last change that we're adding is the top, like the front dodge heavy, the top version of it, can now be feinted, which it couldn't before. So now you can probably feint, hold heavy, straight into offensive stance as well, which is really, really good there. Again, a lot of those little changes, a lot of it kind of feels almost like quality of life, but it really, really helps Highlander in those cases. Now we have offensive form, right? So the main issue with offensive form is kick, because kick right now is not necessarily like, it's not fast, it's not super slow either, but it kind of works. The problem is that it's reactable, and then if I'm playing against, say, a Highlander here, right, and I'm going to do kick into keyboard toss, kind of works. The idea is that the way that mix-up was...
Yeah, they made the toss faster.
I'm going to do kick into keyboard toss and catch dodge attacks. Or catch people dodging, actually. But because everybody has dodge attacks right now, like, if you can try to dodge attack it when I do it, you just clearly, it's not going to work, right? So, how do we fix this? Well, kick is now... I'm sorry. Kick is now feintable.
Aha! I knew it.
Not only is it feintable, but if you're because you're currently holding heavy, right? So holding heavy, you stay in offensive stance, which is great because I can also throw my offensive heavies, feint them, stay in offensive stance.
I cannot wait to go back and read chat.
This is like amazing there. The other thing that we've also done is all of his side dodge, all of his dodge attacks actually in offensive stance are now keyboard toss, which is also a little bit faster. If you play with Highlander before, you grab them. Usually, it used to take a bit more time. You grab them, throw them. It would take a bit longer. You still get your unblockable heavy off of it, like usual. But you have it off of this, right? So now it's crazy because when you're in offensive stance, you get even more crazy potential damage with a lot of your allies by throwing somebody to the floor, but that's good. The other thing that's interesting here is that if Will kind of rolls away from my feintable kick, good, and kick and just roll away from it, I can front dodge and grab it, right? So there is now no escaping the kick.
No.
The thighs, right?
Yeah,
but that works really, really well there.
Behold my mighty thighs.
It's a good tool, but at the same time, if you want, like I said before, right? You want to soft feint with the keyboard toss? You can. We didn't remove it. You want to go straight to keyboard toss on neutral? You can. We didn't remove it, right? So all of these things are still in. They're not necessarily the most optimal things, but we wanted to make sure that if you played Highlander before, you can still play Highlander. You just have new things that work better.
Okay, so you don't have to get the 500-pound brain and relearn the
exactly, right? But that's great.
Yeah.
Also, like for the heavies in offensive stance, we've lowered their damage and their stamina cost. So now they deal 26. They used to deal 30. 30 off a dodge attack was always a bit crazy, but yeah. 12 stamina instead of 24, so you can actually now stay in offensive stance quite a bit longer. Have a lot more stuff there, so that's really, really good.
50% off all stamina costs. Only in Heathmore.
Right. There's some changes we've done to like dodges. I'm not going to go too much into it. We have a blog post that kind of details all of those things. Essentially, like you can flow back into the offensive stance a little bit quicker from when you're doing, and you also move a little bit further out when you're dodging from when you're on live. That's good.
He overall just looks a lot more fluid. With these little tweaks.
Yeah, it feels really, really good. And then just the last thing that I want to go into. So we've removed every single instance of stamina damage and stamina pause. Like we've done with stuff. Again, like it doesn't really fit anything here. Like I said before, when we have Lawbringer, it's the same kind of logic there. You can also no longer, so right now if you're on live, right, if you're in offensive form and you hold guard break, you can just do kick.
Oh, right,
kick,
it'll just change,
right? So now we've kind of fixed this, so you have to tap it, and then if you're just holding it, it's not just going to happen. Right?
Nice, so you're not going to get caught on the startup of the next one.
Exactly, and so this might look a bit weird, like why did we remove this? It's just because it can create like bad inputs. So there's no point in having those bad inputs. So if we can clean them up, that's great. It works really well there. Also, the other thing is that like exiting.
God, dude, that food got me full, and now I'm starting to yawn. That's not good. Oh, I hate when that happens sometimes.
Better stamina management for Highlander. Great.
Don't you guys get that?
And then,
when you eat like a big meal, then all of a sudden you start like falling asleep. You start to get drowsy.
Walking and running speed the entire game. Even though, it was like a
it doesn't help that it's almost midnight here.
So right now, we've actually spent
like I said, I gotta work late,
equal to the second slowest thing, which I think is Kensei. So he runs at about the same speed as Kensei, actually. So with this, you can actually rotate, do your rotation a lot better, reach points in a much more natural way.
Because before, Highlander was not great for rotation.
Right, and you had to pick Rush every single time, otherwise you couldn't really get to where you wanted to go. So we really sped that up, make sure that at least that's a bit more playable. You can get to where you want to go, and that works.
Hey, and his dedication to leg day, it finally paid off.
Exactly.
So,
right?
so they made Highlander faster.
So that's it for Highlander. Like it's a lot of changes. Sometimes it doesn't look like too much, right? But we've really put a lot of care into making sure that, like I said, if you've played them before, you can still play Highlander. You just buff them out.
Now, reminder to everybody, this is just testing grounds. You can go ahead and test it. It's not going to go live.
A lot more effectively. That works super well. We're really excited. We hope
so don't freak out. This is going to be going live next week. No, it's not going to go live.
I mean, all the tentative changes seem like they're kind of in line with what players were asking, which was like, we want some tweaks, but we don't want to. We don't want to change the identity of the hero, or like the feel of playing him. So I'm excited to get hands on Highlander because he always felt like chunky. Like swapping out cardboard cutouts.
But with this, it's a lot more fluid.
Yeah, now it's just, and those are kind of more the heroes that I like to play. It's just like let me get in there and flow. Yeah,
that's good. Well, that's it.
Even
flow. For being
the punching bag.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Punching bag on the stream and off. No, just
not off. Not off.
Not off.
Please
not that.
No. Thank you both so much for joining me on the stream. And for those of you home, we'll be right back with Nolan to recap everything, and we've got some community corner videos.
Finally getting rid of me.
Yeah. You can go bask in the glory of chat's adoration.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I love that.
But stick around. We'll be right back after this transition.
Okay, cool changes for the Highlander. Hopefully everybody's happy with that. That right there, the one that really amazed me was the one where he did it's kind of like the Jormungandr one that Jormungandr has. He can go through a heavy, there's the zone, heavy zone. This how everything was spinning for the Highlander. Jesus Christ, man. Oh man. But either way, there's gonna be some good changes. Now, like I said before, this is just testing grounds, so you guys are gonna be able to go ahead and test this all out for the Highlander, see what you like, what you don't like, and then if you guys, go ahead and give your feedback. The developers are gonna go ahead and put the Highlander back in the testing grounds again, so they go ahead and change some stuff and do some improvements, and then they're gonna be doing the same thing as what they did from the previous year with the testing grounds. They do one change, people didn't like it, change it, people liked it, but they need some more improvements. Third time, we're good. So yeah. So we'll just wait and see what happens. How about everybody's feedback is not really bad. Yeah, really cool. So now we're actually heading towards the end of the stream. So yeah, awesome. I can go ahead and edit this. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you have had an excellent time on the Warriors Den. I know I have.
I have
you too?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, what a great day.
Even though I'm tired as heck,
dude.
It's a
great
great
day. Thursdays
I'm
when
tired.
there's a Warriors Den, it's going to be a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It's all.
What else is going to be a good day? Next Thursday. Too.
Next Thursday, yes. Yes. Especially for Les Assassins. So let's do a quick recap of everything you can expect coming up in Year 7, Season 3. Title update 1. Nolan, would you like to give us a recap?
Absolutely, sir. All right, so amazing show again. So September 14th. Next Thursday, we are going to kick off the new season with a new battle pass and a new battle bundle. Keep a lookout for that. There's some amazing stuff in there you already got to see. The Ghost Rights event pass is going to be running from September 14th through October 5th, so that's really cool. Testing Grounds is coming there the first week, September 14th through the 21st with Highlander, so you just saw those amazing changes. There was the other little thing. Oh, yeah, Reflex Guard removal. It's gone. Say goodbye to that. So that's coming next week as well. We also have a throwback event. Visions
I'm excited for this.
Running from October 12th.
I'm excited for this.
Well. So
I'm happy that they're bringing this event back. I didn't actually think they were going to go ahead and bring this event back. That's crazy.
It's such a great event.
Because usually sometimes they don't bring some
Hero Fest planned for the season too, just as a reminder.
back.
So keep an eye out for.
So this gives me hope that they're going to bring some other events that we haven't seen in a while.
I'm looking forward to that last one.
So I can go ahead and get some of the stuff from the new heroes.
I'm going to make
because there were some heroes that weren't out.
Some explanations.
Some events came.
I know. I think it's great.
I mean, we just recently had the Shadows of the Hitoki event, and there were some heroes that didn't actually have
there you go. A lot of
around
content,
and didn't get the
amazing
rewards.
stuff coming out starting next week.
Awesome.
But that's not all we have to talk about though. In our wrap up,
it is not.
What else?
It is not. As is the returning tradition.
I love it. Yeah.
We have combed all of your video submissions, and it's time for Community Corner. So let's take a look at some funny videos that Nolan hasn't seen.
I have not. I asked not to see these because I love them so much. I like to be surprised.
Okay, let's see what the community has in store.
Yeah, so this is big, like YouTube reaction.
It is. It's Gonna start a new show after this too.
Yeah. All right. So first up, we've got "There's Always a Bigger Fish," which is brought to us by the name on the screen.
It's pretty good. Oishikoki's a pretty big fish. Oh no!
Got him.
Get him! Get him!
Oh, that was amazing.
Then we have this excellent artwork.
Oh,
by
dude!
Wow!
Yeah,
he's making some of my dreams.
Imagine if For Honor was a 2D fighting game. Imagine that.
And then you
that'd be
cannot
awesome.
avoid the hole. I'm sorry, BT.
Oh, he avoided it though. Like, what are you talking about? You can't.
You can't avoid the hole.
Oh, he just did.
No, it's the rules.
He just did again. I feel like Raider really wants to get this. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, see, there you go. Where are we at?
I mean, the video.
It's got to pay off.
Whoa!
Pay it off.
You cannot avoid.
Dude, that
the
new
hole.
execution for the
and then we have
Raiders, awesome.
Brought to you by Parasur Owo.
How does Howden live? He's got a body pillow.
Yes, for the weeps. And then we got What the Bot Doing.
What the Bot
by Desuvolt.
What is the bot doing there?
What the bot doing?
Dancing. I'm going to say dancing. Just really enjoying.
The bot's having a great time. All right,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, and there's our video roundup.
I'm so happy that I don't see these in advance.
The one that I like was the 2D art.
I love the Shimbo
like
bot.
Like if For Honor was a 2D fighting game, oh man, that'd be fucking sick.
Just from here on out, I like it. I'll hold you to that. So
okay, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, let's jump into other things we got coming because we got some retrofits.
Oh, very.
Which are coming for the Frozen Voyager,
the Frozen Voyager,
Steel, and this will be.
I already
for
had
all
that for my
the
team.
Outlanders. Mm-hmm. So all heroes should have these now, so you can with Afira, because the hips don't lie. And then I believe we have some content of the week, if I am not mistaken.
That's right. So yes, whilst the next season starts next week, today we have a Medjai Hero Fest with the first unique execution, the Furka's Decree, and to answer the question, it ledges. So check that out for 7K Steel.
Definitely gotta get that for
next
him.
Week on September 14th,
he needs more
we have
executions.
a mythic outfit available for all heroes, Theater of Deceit.
Oh, dude, look at that!
It is amazing. I absolutely. This is one of the coolest looking ones like we have done.
Dude,
but wait, there's more.
That's a nice
there's
effect
more.
right
You
there.
get to see it on the emote too.
An emote.
We just wanted to see it on more options there, so it's really good.
I always love it when Conk bonks himself.
Conk the bonk, absolutely every time.
That's a nice effect.
And also we have a limited time execution next week, September 14th through October 5th. I have chops. This is a favorite of one of our art directors here, Andrew. Yeah. We know how much he loves this one because of the extra flavor. On
the forbidden dumpling.
The forbidden dumpling. The extra
what a weird execution.
that is pretty
that was a weird one.
So yeah, you can look for these on September 7th, September 14th, respectively. And September's roadmap is live.
I think it would have been better.
Here you go. If you want to screen cap it, and
like the
it's not up there already.
If the enemy would offer, the food, then they would
we got a lot of
put the food down, take the chopsticks, and beat it in the eye. I think that would have been better.
But we've also got an arcade quest. We've got Burning Embers. The weekly quest was as always, as is tradition for Merging Fire owners.
Deal with fire,
which hopefully should be everyone by now. If not, I have questions.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not going to ask them, but I do have them. But yeah, here it is. And then we've also got the Vanquisher Challenge, which will be September 8th through September 11th. Be the faction with the most matches won. Samurai were leading all the factions recently, so maybe.
Come on, Knights.
Maybe,
come on, where are you at?
Come on,
let's get back.
My weebish friends, you need to do the thing.
Knights.
I just want to see green once before I die, please.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
But yeah, don't forget to follow us on everywhere For Honor exists, and we got rid of all the weird underscores and extra letters, so we're just For Honor Game everywhere. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us right here on Twitch, because some of you aren't, and I'm perplexed. I am forever perplexed by that.
Just follow us. It's a great time.
You need notifications. And don't forget to follow the Ubisoft YouTube as well. Make sure and subscribe and click that little bell.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think that's everything for today.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody at home, for tuning in, and we will see you next time or on the battlefield. No, don't. You blow it.
Oh, no.
You blow it.
Oh.
Really good.
We're all screwed.
You know what they said? If you touch anything during the celebration, something bad's gonna happen. And I cannot wait to see what they're gonna be showing us on the second half of this season. I'm excited, man. I can't wait what the Halloween event's going to be. But either way, we're not there yet. But anyways, guys, that right there is the end of the reveal of the reaction of the reveal of Year 6 Season 3. This site, I always mess up today. But either way, so hopefully everybody's excited for it. I'm excited. We got to see a new battle pass, some new weapons. We have an event happening next week, which is awesome. We got patch notes, so for some of the characters, which is going to be great. We also have, of course, the tested grounds for the Highlander, so I can't wait to see what's going to be happening for him. We'll see what everybody's feedback is going to be. And also, the big one, everybody knows, the removal of the reflex score. So hopefully everybody's excited for that. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys. Oh, hold on a second. I'll see you guys on the next video, and don't you worry, I will be doing a Warriors Den recap video to go ahead and to give you guys a short version of the Warriors Den live stream, because I know when it comes to the Warriors Den live streams, they're actually a bit long, but I want to go ahead and make a version of mine a little bit shorter to give you guys any information that you might need when it comes to the brand new season and everything else that's going to be upcoming. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully everybody's excited for the brand new season happening next week. And yeah, I'm coming back to doing some more For Honor videos. Back to my regular scheduled programming. So yeah, either way, hopefully everything will go nice and great for me. So awesome. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned, cool guys. Bye.